Hi, everyone. So, over the past few days, my heart has been breaking over the different videos that have been posted by people in the crafting community about concern over the impact of COPPA on their channels and potentially being subjected to $43,000 fines per video. So, I just thought I would stop by for a few minutes today, show you this pretty card, and try to give you a sense of comfort and a way to look at this matter in a way that hopefully will make you worry less. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk quickly about what does COPPA stand for. So COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And this rule, it requires that child-directed websites and online services provide notice of their information practices and obtain parental consent prior to collecting personal information from children under 13. Okay, so you may have just heard me say that and you're like, well, I don't collect personal information of children. How does this have anything to do with me? And you're right. And we're going to get back to that in a second. So now let's talk about what happened with YouTube. So how YouTube got in trouble. So YouTube was sued by the FTC and the New York Attorney General, alleging that they violated the COPPA rule by collecting personal information in the form of essentially cookies to track users across the internet, and that they did this on child-directed channels on their platform without first notifying parents and getting their consent. Okay, so that was the harm. Now, in order to resolve this lawsuit, YouTube agreed to enact a number of procedures. And one of the procedures has impacted us in the crafting community and anyone with a YouTube channel. And that is to now designate whether or not your entire channel is child directed or whether individual videos are child directed. And there's been a lot of confusion and questions about, well, what is child directed content? So in the crafting community, I've heard people say, well, I draw pretty pictures, I'm making art. These things are inherently attractive to children. Is my content child directed? And the first question I have is, when you make a video, who do you intend to watch it? Is it children or is it some other audience? So I think we all have a sense of who our audience is because we communicate with them in the comments. And also, we receive information from YouTube about who our audience is. So for all of you in the crafting community or in the card making community, if you have a YouTube channel, I want you to go to the Creator Studio right now. Go ahead, I'll wait. Now, I want you to pull up your analytics tag, and then I want you to hit on audience. And I want you to look at the demographics of your audience. And if you're like me, so for me, 70% of my audience is over 45 years of age. The other 29% is between 25 and 44. So that's 99% of my audience is over 25, most of whom are over 45. Now, in the 13 to 17 year range, I have 0 viewers, 0. And that's the youngest demographic that YouTube gives me information for. So they don't provide me any information about children under 13 to begin with. So I am not receiving that information, which is, I think, one of the pieces that you need in order to violate this COPPA rule. It's not about just being a child-directed channel. The point is that you are collecting information about children without getting parents' consent before that. Okay, so based on my statistics that YouTube provides me, I am pretty confident that I do not operate a child-directed channel. And if I were ever questioned that, I would feel pretty confident in addressing that. So that's one. So the second question is, oh my gosh, I could get a $43,000 fine if I if I believe my content is not child directed, but then YouTube or the government disagrees with me. So let's delve into that a little bit more. So this $43,000 penalty, I believe that comes from the FTC Act. It's not like it's a straight $43,000 penalty. And there's a lot of things that would have to happen before that would ever apply to you. So First of all, you would have to, there are 20 million channels on YouTube. So the first thing is that the government would have to find your channel, right, out of those 20 million channels and decide that there was something so egregious about your channel that it was worth filing a lawsuit against you. So it's not like you would get a letter in the mail with a $43,000 bill. The government would have to find you, they would have to sue you, they would have to win the lawsuit, and then they would have to enforce the judgment and collect the money. So it's like, those are a lot of steps, right? Do you really think it's worth the government's time to go after a small card making channel? It's probably operated by a woman who's over 45 years old, who is probably making less than $100 a month if her channel is pretty successful. So just keep that in mind. Like when you look at the revenue that you're getting from your channel, you're probably not getting a meaningful amount of money. You know, the types of targets that the government likes are the big targets like the YouTubes and the Googles of the world, not me or you sitting in our homes on the weekend, making little cards like this with a polar bear on it, and sharing our techniques with other like women who are around the same age as us. Okay, so I don't know. I hope some of that made you feel a little bit better. So if you're scared and you're worrying about what's the likelihood of being impacted by this, I think the most likely way that you could be impacted is that maybe because you do have cartoony like pictures in your cards, you could get picked up accidentally by one of YouTube filters and maybe your channel would get deleted. But I also, if that's were to happen to me, I would fight it and I would say, hey, listen, based on the demographics YouTube that you sent me about my channel, 99% are 25 years and over. I have no reason to believe that any children watch this channel. I would like you to review this again. So that's all I have to say on that. I'd love to hear from you in the comments what your thoughts are on all this COPPA craziness that is going on. And I really hope I made you feel better. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. And I'm happy to continue the conversation there if you like. I personally am not going to be changing any of the ways that I operate my channel. My content is not directed at children. The demographics show me it's not directed at children. And I'm going to continue on just as before. Thanks a lot and hope to hear from you in the comments. Have a great day, everyone.